Alright, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show, and in today's episode, what I wanted to talk on is the disrespect towards, classic movies. Because, no, there's people out there in this world that will legit look at some of the most classic movies of all time. I'm talking about, something that we grew up on. I'm trying to think, it'll be something there's this one, animated movie, called The Iron Giant. In my opinion, that is honestly one of the most greatest cartoon movies of all time. Been years since I've watched it, but it's one of the greatest cartoon movies of all time. Or if we're gonna talk on some other stuff, and it's overall paying respects to Olivia Newton-John, but musical movies, Grease, and there will literally be somebody, and there's no disrespect to the movie High School Musical, but people will legit say, oh no, High School Musical was better than Grease. I'm like, fam, if it wasn't for movies like it, you mean to tell me, alright, if we're gonna sit down and talk about this, because I feel like that there will be some people that will say some stuff like that, you mean to tell me that High School Musical ain't took no inspiration from Grease? You cannot look at the movie Grease and be like, that's not a good musical. I'm sorry, but no. Yeah, they might have not looked like they were high schoolers, but who cares? Bruh, the movie is still good. Or, let me think of a romance movie. Well, Grease did kind of fall in the category of romance, but let's say if it's another movie like Titanic, or I know a movie, I haven't really sat down and I've seen it, so here's the thing on how I watched this movie. I watched it, but I watched parts of it on different occasions. So there was one day where I seen the beginning, then there was another day where I kind of seen the middle part, and then there was another day where I seen the end. But the movie, The Notebook. And people will look at that that might not be one of my favorite movies, but at least I can respect that movie is good. Now, there are some movies out there that I will disrespect because it's just at that time being, it was something that I didn't want to watch. But at the same time, it's art behind. I just want to say this real quick, that there's an art that comes about when a movie is, being put together. And for anybody, and it could be from the crappiest movies all the way to the best movies of all time, but for people to disrespect those movies, it trips me out. That's why, when people, if they tell me that one of the corniest movies ever in this world to ever exist can be that person's favorite movie. If that is that person's favorite movie, I'm like, that is on them. But the thing is, it's I can't even really look at movies and say that they're not good. Because I'm always curious to see, my thing is, when I watch a movie, I want it to be different than the last, romance or comedy or whatever. So that's why I have to say, I'm probably one of the most open people when it comes to movies. I'm trying to think, last movie I didn't like, I honestly can't remember. I can't remember, because that's the thing, it's if I know I'm not going to like that movie, I'm not going to go out of my way to watch it. But other than that, I can't remember the last time I didn't like a movie. I had to say the one time where I was kind of upset that I had to go to the theaters to see it, and then there was another movie that was playing, and I was trying to tell my family, I'm like, okay, let's go watch that movie instead of watching this other movie. I'm like, I don't want to watch this, and then of course, they're all like, oh, well, it's we all want to watch this. So I'm like, you know what, fine, forget it. This is when I think this movie came out when I was a kid, so it wasn't like I had no money, because me, honestly, I would have, if I had some money, I definitely would have went to the arcade and just tried to get the high score on stuff, but I couldn't. So overall, I was like, yeah, I was stuck. I was stuck watching the movie 7 Pounds. There's this movie with Will Smith and Rosario Dawson, I think that's her name. Is it Roseo or Rosio? I don't know, but tomato. But I know there's a proper way of saying her name. I think she was in that movie. If it wasn't her, then I'm like, bro, it's not a memorable movie. It's not a movie that I go out of my way to watch. But no, I was upset because I was like, fam, I didn't want to watch this, but that's more so the reason why I did not like that movie, because I was like, fam, there were comedies, there was movies that were worth watching. Something like this, you gotta watch it when it comes out on cable. I feel like getting dressed up, this is what I feel like with movies. When you get dressed up, right? and you wear like you wear like a good outfit. You wear a good outfit. You go all the way to this movie theater. You think about what food you want to get. You go into a dark room, find your seat, you sit down, and you make yourself comfortable and you go through all of that to go see a movie that you don't even want to see. I guarantee, I promise you, you are not gonna like that movie. If you do all of that and you go see a movie that you didn't even want to see, you're not gonna like that movie. Unless you're one of those people where you're all like, you know what, surprise me, I don't care, let's just see whatever. Then if that's the case, then that's the case. But me, it's like when you have your heart desired on watching one movie, but then you end up watching another, it's like, yeah, that's you ain't gonna like that movie. I promise you that. All right, so, but yeah, I think that was like the last time where I had like some legitimate, like, not hatred, but a dislikement to a movie. Is dislikement a word? I feel like it could be a word. I feel like it sounds like a word. But anyways, no, like I strongly disliked that movie because it was the movie I wanted to see. So I can't remember the other movie that I wanted to see. But anyways, but yeah, it's stuff like that where it's like there could be a person in this world that will tell me, oh yeah, that movie, that Will Smith movie, 7 Pounds, that's one of my favorite movies of all time. And I'm like, oh, okay, well that's cool, I guess. Now I'll tell them my story and be like, yeah, I didn't really like the movie because it wasn't a movie that I wanted to go see. I didn't like it for its storyline. Although I do think that it was, so to just overall, because it's one of those movies where it's like, it's not like a Marvel movie or a DC movie, or it's a TV show or movie that's like, it's gonna be messed up if it's spoiled. But it's one of those movies where it's like, you can watch it and there's nothing like memorable in that movie. The only thing that was memorable was the ending. So I guess if you want to watch the movie, then I would probably recommend to turn this podcast episode off, go watch the movie, come back, listen to this podcast episode. And then, overall, just then let me know how you feel about it and things. But if not, if you don't care, this is what happened at the end. So, I think, Rosario Dawson, she thought or she was either sick or she thought she was sick. So they gave her this, was like one of those them buzzers that you be getting at restaurants and stuff, and they're all like, oh, so if this buzzer goes off, then you're gonna be fine, but if it doesn't go off, you're gonna die. And I'm like, that is the most dumbest way of telling somebody you possibly could or could not be sick. I'm like, nah, bro. I remember watching that and I'm like, are they serious? They're really giving them a Red Robin buzzer to let them know whether they're sick or not. I'm like, this is the most craziest, wherever that place is at. I'm like, no, they need to get shut down. If hospitals really be doing that, I'm like, bruh, this is only meant for restaurants. This isn't meant for sick people. Why would you get somebody, they sitting there waiting, I'm like, oh, my thing gonna go off any minute now, and then next thing you know, they're having a 7 o'clock appointment with Jesus. It's like, nah, bro, no. But so anyways, I think at some point Will Smith thought that she was gonna die because the buzzer thing never went off. So anyways, he goes and buys a jellyfish, and then I guess he overall did it so it can he can save his organs and stuff. But so anyways, so he buys a jellyfish, puts it in this water, sits in the water with the jellyfish, and the thing's stinging him, killing him, and all that stuff, and he ends up dying. And then right after he dies, next morning, Rosario Dawson's Red Robin buzzer thing goes off, and so she's gonna survive. And I'm like, are you serious? He went through all that. He spent this money on a jellyfish because I don't know when, where, and why you can acquire a jellyfish, but goes out, buys a jellyfish just to go home and I'm like, nah, bro, that is messed up. I'm like, that is 100%. That is some Romeo and Juliet. But that's it's movies like that where it's just the wrongful deaths. Where it's and then it's, in another romance movie, Romeo and Juliet, where it's he, who was it? Was she faked her death, he dies, she wakes up, and then she kills herself, and I'm like, are you serious? Why do people be going through all this extra stuff just to be my thing is this, I guess if I was in a situation like that, it would be messed up. I know I'm gonna be depressed, I know I'm gonna probably cry, I know I'm gonna go through one of the deepest depressions, but I'm not going to sting myself with a jellyfish, and I'm not going to, however Romeo and Juliet, how they did themselves, I ain't gonna do that either. But it's stuff like that where I'm like, why go through all that trouble? You know, it's just it's weird and stuff. But and I'm trying to think, like, I like action packed movies. I don't think there's ever been a time where I watched an action packed movie and I was like, this was not good at all. Like I usually like, because I feel like in this day and age, like, you know, if you fail with an action packed movie, and that's honestly one of, like, I feel like anybody can come up with like a good action packed movie. Like, you can literally turn your life into a action-packed movie. Like, the fact that I can sit, and I don't know, maybe it's just because of like how creative I am when it comes to like writing out like stories and stuff. I literally can turn my life story into a action-packed movie, bruh. Like, I'm saying, think about it. Like, it's, you know, it starts off with me, like, you know, like, all right, so, like, instead of me graduating from high school, I'm graduating from this, like, combat academy and stuff, right? And then I end up getting like signed in to some job, which is like, you know, let's just say like this job is like a YouTube, but it's a, you know, it's whatever. Like, I'll come up with like the details, but anyways, so yeah, they have it where it's like I get signed on to like some like video networking like military, you know, job, whatever, and I'm supposed to upload this video file to this specialized computer. So I'm going through all this trouble. I'm meeting all these different people. I literally can have some of my friends make cameo appearances in there. They're like, oh yeah, he actually knows that person. He was in their Twitch streams, or he reacted to their YouTube videos. I get all the way to the end and upload it and save the world. I'm saying, like, that can be a action pack, and of course, like, have like crazy shootouts, high speed chases, a whole building blows up and it's just some crazy CGI like animation and stuff. I'm skydiving from the building, doing all these crazy maneuvers and things. I'm telling you, like, it can, honestly, it can sell. Something like that can sell. But I'm like, I don't know how you can fail an action-packed movie. And then, like, with comedy, I can see how a comedy movie would fail if it's like, if the jokes aren't funny. But like, that's the thing though, I feel like corny jokes is the thing nowadays. Like, people like corny jokes. Like, look at the whole like dad jokes that's on YouTube. So I do feel like that corny jokes, they can sell, you know, because especially if it's the reaction that, like, so like, let's say for an example in a movie, or like the whole movie is about corny jokes, but then there's that person that's reacting to it like, bro, that was corny. Like, that was stupid. Like, no, don't tell that joke no more. Like, that was horrible. See, it's stuff like that where it's like, that's funny. That would sell. That would get, you know, the movie going and stuff. And then with like romance movies, it's like, you know, of course, like having it where the love interest, they doing all the extra stuff to like finally meet up with each other, fall in love. And then, you know, it's like, it's either some like wedding or whatever happens at the end of things. But what are there? Mystery movies, thrillers. Like, you cannot fail and make a movie bad, like, if you actually sit down and work and do some stuff on it. But I'm trying to think, like, if it's like one of them like low budget movies, like, for an example, there's the movie where I thought it could be good, but the just overall, like, the visuals in that movie was like, bruh, you can tell that this was one of those movies, you know how like in them iPhone commercials and they show like a movie scene and they were all like, oh, recorded with iPhone. It was that, but like one of the previous iPhones. And the movie that I'll be talking on is Jeepers Creepers 3. Now, the story behind that movie could have been good. The visual effects, horrible, bruh. Like, honestly, it looked like some stuff that I would have did when I very first got like an iPod Touch or an iPad. Like, you get one of those like 99-cent apps and you have all these like crazy things going on. Like, that's what that looked like. But it was just done off of like, you know, some like whatever. Like, maybe if it was done off of a MacBook or something. But I'm like, bro, are they serious? Like, this is what they come up with? Like, that's what they decided to. I'm like, nah, bro, they messed up on that one. They 100% messed up on that one. But no, it's like, but it's stuff like that. People will like it and say that it was good and stuff. So I'm like, there's people that I know that had watched it and they, you know, they overall, they liked it. They thought the story and all that was good. The guy that was behind it, he ain't good. You know, it's like, I just think that, yeah, it's like that also what kind of like made that movie bad too, is that, so the guy, he had did some crazy things like back in the day prior before, like, I think he worked on the Jeepers Creepers series. And I think, you know, he kind of surprised everybody with Jeepers Creepers 1. And then with 2, I think that's when, like, people kind of started noticing. Then when he was talking on 3, then, yeah, that's when all his, like, you know, his personal life stuff came out. And, yeah, overall, it was like it just ruined Jeepers Creepers 3 and stuff. But anyways, yeah, I just, you know, overall, I do think that movies, you know, it's just they can be good. But if it's not, then yeah, you know, like I don't know. It usually takes a lot out of me to say a movie is bad and stuff. But anyways, and now I honestly don't even know what I'm gonna. I think I'm gonna just be like talking on movies or something. Like I had an idea of what I was talking on, but I feel like I just got carried away and just started talking on some other stuff. So. But anyways, and that being said, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. If you're viewing this on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. And if you're viewing this on the podcast streaming service, make sure you follow, subscribe, however it's set up. Make sure you subscribe to one of my 43 YouTube channels. Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Twitch, and Instagram at TMossBoss. And make sure you follow my Facebook page at TMossBoss fan page. Also, if you're purchasing any tickets from SeatGeek, make sure you use my promo code TMossBoss and then we'll have $20 off your first purchase. Thank you guys for watching and or listening, and peace.